Grayson woke up to Radion's yelling at him. "Wake up! Wake up!" Radion kept repeating urgently. When he noticed Grayson stirring, he said, "Hurry, get to the window." Grayson sat up, rubbing his eyes. "What is it?" he asked groggily. "Hurry! Get to the window," he insisted. Grayson stood and stumbled out of the bedroom to the window at the end of the hallway. He could tell he wasn't moving fast enough to please Radion. "What am I looking for?" he asked, peering through the glass. "There, between the clouds. You can see her in the moonlight." Radion directed Grayson's eyes to show him what he saw. Grayson stared in shock at the shadow of a large dragon quickly disappearing in the clouds. He had felt this kind of excitement in Radion's once before. "Mate?" he asked. "Yes," Radion replied excitedly. "That was our mate. I hate to say this, but it was a very large dragon," Grayson said dryly. It seemed pretty dark to be a gold or red dragon, the typical color of an Alarian female dragon. You would think rumors of a female dragon that large would have floated back to Peroria. King Liam isn't the only one with spies. I don't care. "Let me follow her," Radion pleaded. "No," Grayson exclaimed. "Are you crazy? If King Liam heard we were flying around this early in the morning, he might think that we were spying on his land. I came here for a ball, not to start another war." Grayson could sense the excitement building in Radion. "If this is truly our mate, how is it no one has spoken of this large female dragon? You said you felt our mate shift for the first time close to 4 years ago. I can tell you are certain this is our mate, but I have doubts about that. If our mate has kept herself hidden, it is only because she is an ancient dragon and different from the rest," Radion exclaimed. "How is that?" Grayson demanded. Radion snorted. "Firstly, there is a lot of old dragon magic that you know nothing of. In the old days when we had a Hosento, we could hide ourselves in case we came in contact with another dragon we were not friendly with. Secondly, our mate is in a country where females are not allowed to battle or rule. Don't you think that she may have had a good reason to hide her ancient dragon?" Grayson didn't answer that question because the answer was an obvious yes if he knew anything about Alarian. But something else had gotten his attention. "What other dragon magic do I not know of?" "Well, for one, I don't have to let you hear my side of any conversations with other dragons. I choose to because I have nothing to hide from you," Radion said. "Really? Then only share conversations that are interesting because the babbling jokes you tell Arleo and Bodego are annoying," Grayson snapped. Radion started humming, offended by Grayson snapping at him. Grayson walked to the living room and sat down in the chair he had been in the night before. King Liam hinting to Prince Grayson about the Princess of Alarian finding her mate yesterday afternoon when he had arrived, and now this morning's revelation of his mate being here was very unsettling. A question popped into his head. If my mate is hiding herself, how is it Radion sensed her? Radion sighed. Grayson realized he wasn't even trying to hide his thoughts from Radion and that he had heard them. He also knew Radion wasn't going to tell him anything more until he apologized. "I am sorry for snapping at you," he said. "How do you know that dragon is our mate?" "I sensed her when she shifted," he replied, still a little miffed at Grayson. If there were other ancient dragons here, they might be able to faintly sense her shifting, but they wouldn't know who or where. Shifting is the weakest link in our magic. I am her mate, so I am sensitive to her. Being this close to her helps. Until we are fully mated, I will feel any use of her magic, the same as any other dragon unless she is keeping herself hidden. Once we are fully mated," Radion added, "I will be able to pinpoint her location the moment she uses any magic." "Why could you do all that back in the day and not now?" Grayson asked. "I have never heard of today's dragons being that close to their mates. They aren't. Dragon magic has become so watered down. Have you ever heard of a dragon that could produce water like I do?" Radion continued before Grayson could answer. "Have you heard of other dragons who could heal the earth after it has been scorched or frozen in battle? Or, did you know that many of the ancient temples and monuments were built by dragons that molded rock with fire so hot they could turn rock into obsidian stone? Did you know that some healing dragons in their Hosento form could heal other humans? Or that the stone dragons were some awesome rock sculptures? The strongest fire dragons, Hosentos, could heat up things with their hands, and the ice dragons, Hosentos, could cool things down?" Radion stopped and waited for Grayson to answer. Grayson sighed. "I have read these myths and legends in the ancient scrolls. I have never seen it." "These things written are not myths and legends," Radion snapped. "They are ancient truths written so that our days of glory will not be forgotten. But you ignore the truths written in the ancient manuscripts because you no longer see or experience these things. And because you do not believe it. Because you do not believe the truth in these ancient scrolls, you cannot live it. What are you implying? Grayson demanded, trying to understand. I am not implying anything. I am telling you that the dragons of today cannot do these things because you cannot teach what you do not fully understand or believe. The ancient script says that a purple dragon can breathe both ice and fire. Have you seen a purple dragon do that? Radion asked. No, Grayson replied. Thank God. The purple dragons that are rumored to manifest are weak and pathetic. They say they are sickly and can't do anything. They say they are a horrible sight. That's proof that the stories written about the purple dragons are a myth, he said disgustingly. Radion sneered at him. Your lack of reverence for the ancient truth is a tattletale sign of humans' lack of belief. You won't believe that a dragon can breathe both fire and ice, so out of ignorance no one teaches them how to. When a purple dragon is gifted, you only teach the ability it displays first. No one thinks about training them in the way of both, even though the ancient books say they can. Therefore, the dragon cannot thrive because it is only taught to operate on half of its magic and power at any given time. It is the Hosento's fault that the dragon cannot become what the dragon was meant to be. Do you ever wonder why I am the first silver dragon in centuries? He asked, continuing without allowing Grayson to answer. If a silver dragon was to be gifted as a young dragon, it would die early. It would not be able to survive at all, because it would be deprived of 2/3 of its magic. It would not be taught all 3 of its abilities, only one. In the end, it will die, killing its host with it, because it will be absolutely too weak to survive. A silver dragon would never be taught that they could use magic for fire, ice, and water because of unbelief. It is the ability to spout water that makes it more powerful and more rare than a purple dragon. Why didn't you explain any of this to me when I was a young student in ancient history class? You were there for all our debates and questions. It seems to me you could have corrected me then. I knew that you saw me breathe out fire, ice, and water. If that did not convince you to believe what you read in those ancient scrolls, how was I going to convince you? It was true you were young and impressionable. The admiration for your teacher was great. You believed everything he said. But at that time, I had become common to you. You took it for granted that I was not a regular dragon. I am a rare dragon, yet you did not acknowledge how rare I am. I am the only one in existence in the realm of men today, but in the ancient days, I was not the only dragon like myself. Okay, agreed Grayson. I have a lot of things to learn about you and your ancestors. One thing I most definitely don't understand is, how did you feel our mate the first time she shifted? Radion sighed. This too is written. We didn't populate the earth the way humans have. The ancient dragons could live for hundreds of years with no mate showing up. We lived far from one another. Males would burrow in their caves for months, even years. It was their safe place. Dragons only came out when they needed to check on their subjects when they sensed something was wrong, or if they happened to get bored. Only the males could feel their own mate when she shifted the first time. This was like a calling to start searching for her. Why didn't we search for our mate when you felt her the first time? Grayson demanded. We wouldn't be here if you had. Radion groaned impatiently. The roles of dragons and men have been reversed. We no longer have a Hosento to control. You control us. Besides, you were too young. Your father would never have said yes to your request to search for your mate. You humans hope fate will bring you together, and, he added pointedly, we would never have known to search beyond the borders of Peroria. True, Grayson agreed reluctantly. I never imagined that we would have to come all the way to Alarion to find her. Rome had walked into the room. How long have you been up? He asked, startled to see Grayson sitting in the chair so early in the morning. I have been up for a while, replied Grayson. Radion and I were just discussing the events of the day. Rome had nodded. Bedigo has been very talkative too, but I wasn't willing to get out of the warm bed I was lying in. He looked around the room. I am already hungry. I wonder if there's anything I could snack on until breakfast. I am sure breakfast won't be much longer. It's going to be a busy day today, replied Grayson. Did Eliaster hear anything while he was out last night? I didn't hear him come in. He came in shortly after you went to bed. He said he ran into Prince Duro in the garden, so he's here already. Here? So soon? I wonder when he left to get here so early, said Grayson. Duro told Eliaster his father sent him with some items that King Liam ordered, so he's been here a couple of days. I guess Prince Kern arrived shortly after he did, and King Bariad has been here a whole minute. I wonder who else is coming, wondered Prince Grayson. Romid shook his head. I have no idea, but Eliaster said there are more on the way. I wonder if they all received a private letter with their invitations too, mused Radion to Grayson. Grayson moaned inwardly. That will make a mess of things if everyone starts fighting over the princess, he replied to his inner dragon. Grayson stood up and looked down the hallway. The sun was shining through the window at the end of it. I guess the sun is awake, he joked to Romid. Is anyone else around here awake? And as if on cue, there was a knock on the door. The two men glanced at each other. I hope we aren't being spied on, Romid said in a low voice.